Are you struggling with algebraic expressions? Let's solve 3 actual JSCE NECO questions together, and I'll show you exactly what to look out for. Let's begin. Okay, so the first question says factorize EF plus DF minus DG minus EG, and then we are given options. Now, what I like to do for this kind of question is very simple. The first thing I like to do is to group them. Excuse me. So we group them. So we have EF plus DF minus DG minus EG. So like I said, the first thing I like to do for this kind of question where we are asked to factorize is to group them. Now, how do I group them? I pick this first two as a group. Then I pick this other two as well as a group. Now, when you finish grouping them, the next thing you want to do is to take common factors. That is, you are looking for what is common to both of the terms in each of the brackets, and then you will extract it out of the brackets. All right, so we have EF plus DF. What is the HCF here? What is common to both of them? F is common, so we pull out F outside, meaning what we have remaining inside would be E for the first term plus D for the second term. Are you following me? Then here we have minus. Now inside the bracket we have DG minus EG. What is common to these two terms in the brackets? G is common to them, right? So we pull out G, all right? And when we pull out G, what is remaining for DG will be D, okay? And then what happens to this sign? I didn't mean it was plus sign. It's a different ball game. But if it is minus sign, because the inside must remain minus, and if the inside must remain minus, we must find, all right, an operation that multiplies this outside sign to give us what? The inside sign as what? Minus. So minus times what will give us minus? Of course, it should be minus times what? Plus. So this one becomes plus. And then here we are also left with what? E. So, of course, E plus D is same as D plus E. So we pick one of them, which is E plus D. All right. And then these other ones that we extracted outside, we also make them into what? A term. And that is your final answer. So it means that factorizing, all right, this question gives us E plus D in brackets and then F minus G also in brackets, meaning our answer here is option C. Okay, so the next question says expand minus 3x into brackets minus 4p plus 7n. So let's write that out. We have minus 3x into brackets minus 4p plus 7n. And then the instruction says expand. What does expand means? It means that whatever term we are given before the brackets, we are to multiply that term by every of the terms inside the brackets. So doing that, it means we are going to do minus 3x times minus 4p. That's the first one. Then we do minus 3x times plus 7n. This is the second one. So 3 will multiply 4 to give us what? 12. minus will multiply minus to give us what? Plus. X will multiply P to give us XP. Then here as well, minus will multiply plus to give us minus. 3 will multiply 7 to give us 21. And then x will multiply n to give us xn. So our final answer here is plus. We can write plus or we can leave it like that. So we have 12 xp minus 21 xn. 12 xp minus 21 xn, which is option B. Let's solve this one. So the question says factorize 32x squared y minus 8yz squared. Now, as usual, what I like to do for this kind of question is to find the HCF first. All right, so how do we find the HCF? So I write 32x squared y, then I write 8yz squared, and then I rule my line. Okay, I rule my line, and then I rule my line. Now, what I want to do is to break this one down. I'm looking for the HCF first. That's the first thing I want to do. So what can divide 32 and 8? All right, 32 and 8, and then x squared y, z squared. What can divide both of them conveniently? Let's start with the numbers. So we know that 8 is a factor of 32. So obviously 8 will go. This one will be remaining 4, right? And then what is common to the letters? The letters here, we have y, and then we have y. So if we pick out that y, what will be remaining here will be x squared, and over here we'll have z squared. Now that we have gotten the HCF, we can easily write 8y in brackets. What is remaining for this is 4x squared, and then we have minus, here also is z squared. Now it would have been easy to leave this answer like this, but if you look at the two terms inside this bracket, they are both squares. This term is a square, this term is a square, so we don't leave it this way. The next thing we want to do is to find what I call the difference of squares, the difference of two squares. And what does the rule of the difference of two squares says? If you have 4x squared minus z squared, the easiest way to represent this is square root of 4 is 2, square root of x squared is x, minus square root of this is z. So this makes the first bracket, and the second bracket will be 2x plus z. It is when you expand these two brackets, you will arrive at what? 4x squared minus z squared. So these particular terms in this bracket will now become 8y into 2x minus z, all right, open bracket again, 2x plus z. And this is our final answer. But if the terms inside this bracket are not perfect squares, you can just leave it like that. You can just leave it like that. But because the two terms in this bracket are actually squares, that is why we had to use what we call the difference of two squares as to arrive at this what? Final answer. So the answer to this is option C. You've seen how we solve these questions. Now it's your turn. Here are 8 exercises designed to test whether you really understand expansion and factorization, not just whether you can copy a solution. Start from question 1 and work your way up. No calculator, take your time. And here's the real challenge. Don't just choose an answer. Know why it's correct. Pause the video, attempt all 8 and check your score when you're done. How many can you get right? If this lesson helped you understand algebra a little better, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with a learner who needs it, and follow or subscribe to Shama Online Academy for more simple, practical math lessons. More math, more confidence, better results. See you in the next lesson.